Welcome back to I Entered the Lord of the Rings cookbook so you don't have to, and how I fixed it, episode 2, Orc Brew. Pour crushed ice into a large pitcher. Okay, how large are we talking? Because this makes one brew. So do I need this pitcher? Or do I need a tankard? This is a very good question. I think I'm gonna trust my gut and go with this guy. So crushed ice, is this enough? Is halfway full enough? I had 1.5 tablespoons. So that's 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So that'll be 1 tablespoon plus 1.5 teaspoons. I have to move you, and I don't want to because you're a pill sometimes. Now we add our crushed berries. Quarter cup. Passion fruit juice. And a quarter cup banana juice. Now, banana juice does not exist. Trust me, I look. Instead, we're using banana puree mix, but it needs it to be ice cold, and I didn't know if you could freeze this, so I just refrigerated it. Quarter cup of this stuff. I'm gonna give this a little stir. It does not look appetizing in the slightest. See how this tastes. Cheers, friends. Is it my favorite mocktail I've made? No. Do I think there needs to be some editing on this? Yeah. I think that's the weakest part of this cookbook. To me, this means the instructions are not accurately written here, because this, following the instructions, is what I got. So just keep that in mind. So you can make this boozy if you wish, but again, the series is non-alcoholic. I think this cookbook is off to a rocky start. A couple more notes on this before we get into the Underdark Cellars version. This beverage was really thick and syrupy, and I did not like the texture. I did not like the feeling of swallowing that. Can we please specify what type of cherry juice we're using?
You killed my father.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
Too bad. It's all you get.
Anyway, let's fix this and make the Underdark Cellars version, shall we? We're gonna start out the same by muddling our blackberries and our raspberries together.
This is not for you. All right.
Using the back of a spoon, I'm going to take the muddled berries and smear that on the inside of the glass.
Now there's no ice in here, but in this picture, so I'm assuming that it was shaken or something. That's what we're gonna do.
So we're going to keep the amount of lime juice. We're gonna half the amount of the vanilla syrup, and we're going to keep the amount of the gin the same. We're going to add our passion fruit juice and our cherry juice in there, as well as the muddled berries, and we're going to give that a nice shake. I'm going to take about 1.5 teaspoons of banana puree and run that along the outside of the glass. Other changes I made is I strained out the ice and the seeds as much as I could. I used a sieve because my shaker got clogged, so really, really small amount. I added in another tablespoon to try and get some layers going, but ultimately that didn't work out very well.
Yeah, texture is much better.
I do think that while the Underdark Cellars version was superior in flavor and texture, this is still just not the drink for me.
It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not there.
I did not like it. I think I just like things that are lighter, crisper, maybe bubbly. But, I think, again, this just largely comes down to preference. But again, I think the real faults with this book come down to the editing. First and foremost, what type of cherry juice am I supposed to use? Am I supposed to use tart cherry juice? Am I supposed to use black cherry juice? I went to the store, I was looking at the cherry juice options, and I wasn't sure which to pick, so I picked the black cherry juice because it wasn't as tart. Hindsight, maybe I should have picked the tart cherry juice, but that is something that should be specified in the recipe. Again, with banana juice juice does not exist. It needs to be banana puree. Also, what am I supposed to do with a full liter of banana puree after this? I guess I'm making a lot of milkshakes for people. What are we supposed to do with the ice? Are we supposed to strain it in the original recipe? Ultimately, that's what I did after I chilled everything. You know, why does it say a pitcher is necessary if it's just one serving in a glass this size? I realized I deviated from the original instructions the first time around because I didn't want to dirty a glass pitcher if I'm just making a drink for one person. So these are the types of things that I'm talking about in terms of editing that they don't make any sense.
My God, pull yourself together!
That brings us to the end of the episode. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, drop those down below. Ring the bell for notifications and subscribe, please. Just a reminder, we're doing all things Lord of the Rings in August in anticipation of Rings of Power Season 2 dropping on Amazon Prime. So make sure you take care of yourselves, adventurers, do something nice for someone else, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.